Hi, I'm Cindy Bertram. Thanks for joining me today on Good Ship Happens. And yes, it's been a busy week for me because I am actually finishing my new book, yes, which is great. I'm sharing stories about great cruise industry executives, which is fantastic. Their stories are phenomenal, amazing, just so inspiring too. I'm very excited because I have just been reaching out to executives and got 5 chapters done, finishing the last 2, which is great, and having these executives help me, which is great too. So that's good too. Also, I'm going to be going to an interesting conference next week. It's called World Trail Expo Miami. It's really great. This is the 3rd year they've done it in the United States. So I'll be at the Miami Beach Convention Center. But also, what's great too is, as mentioned, I really like sharing all the positive stories that the cruise industry is doing like crazy. They're doing great things too, and one I want to share today too, as a special meaning to me too, because this is something that Norwegian Cruise Line has been doing for a couple of years. Okay, and definitely I'll remind you about this in the spring, but it's actually a way to recognize teachers. They work so hard, and having taught myself a long time ago, they work so hard to energize students in different ways, and a lot of times they spend their own money to take care of their rooms, classrooms too. It's a different world out there today than before. My nephew actually teaches elementary schools in Chicago. He's a great, great, great teacher, amazing person. And what they started doing with the Norwegian Cruise Line is they've got a special program, okay? And what they do is it's a way to actually get good teachers nominated, okay? And then what they do is then um, they nominate different teachers. You can nominate a teacher yourself too. I actually work with teachers like crazy, but once again, it's called it's their um, it's their it's a way to recognize teachers, okay? And it's really great because once again, it's done by NCL Giving, Norwegian Cruise Lines Giving. And it's a really way to really recognize teachers. It's called NCL's Giving Joy Program. And as mentioned, they started doing this a couple years ago. It's a great way to recognize teachers. A teacher can actually get nominated. They have a website. You can get nominated teacher yourself or get nominated by somebody else. But also, what they do, it's a way to really it's really just a way to really recognize good teachers. What they do is teachers get nominated in the spring, and what I'll do is when it comes out next year, I will share the actual information to nominate a teacher, which is great. What they do is they take nominations, and then after several months, they also did come up with the winners. Okay, what they did was they just announced this week that they said we're proud to celebrate 20 outstanding educators across the United States and Canada in this year's NCL Giving Joy winners. Okay, each will enjoy a well-deserved cruise for 2 with 3 grand prize winners. They're invited to join them on the Norwegian Luna, which is a new ship coming next year, for their 2026 christening celebration too. So once again, they made a big announcement today, and they said that they want to congratulate these inspiring teachers. And you actually can find out about the stories too online. But also, like I said, they finally named the teachers that were won, which is great too. But it's a great way to really, really, really recognize teachers. And what they do too is also, I know that they also have a discount for teachers too to sail on their ships. But this is called Norwegian Cruise Lines Giving Joy, NCL Giving Joy. So please keep this in mind for 2026 because they will be doing it again. And what they did too is each of these 20 winners actually are going to enjoy a well-deserved cruise for 2 people. also one of their, and then their 3 grand prize winners are also invited to actually be on board the Norwegian Luma. That's a new ship coming out next year for her special 2026 christening celebration. But how fun! Been a celebration and to celebrate teachers. This really brings tears of joy to my eye too. I just love it so much. So sorry, but they got great stories about these teachers that were nominated. 20 teachers won, but once again, 2 is keep an eye for next year, and I will give you the deadline too next year when it comes up again too. But just this really excited me. I thought, boy, I got to share this today too, because once again, it's called Norwegian Giving Joy, Norwegian Cruise Line, and like I said, you learn about this. So if you go to, I think it's just probably we've got a Norwegian Cruise Line. Look up Norwegian Giving Joy, and it will list those 20 teachers, okay, that won, and also then their 3 grand prize winners will actually also be invited to join Norwegian Cruise Line on Norwegian Luma, their new ship coming out next year. So once again, Giving Joy, new aspect, Norwegian Giving Joy. So please keep that in mind for future, but it's a great way to really celebrate teachers because they work so hard, and what a great way to recognize them too. So yes, sorry, this brings tears to my eyes too, but it's fun too. So keep in mind Norwegian Cruise Lines, Norwegian Giving Joy, okay? Something else too is kind of fun too is I know that, as mentioned, Virgin Voyages, okay, just launched their debut, their new ship. I talked about, I think last week too, the Scarlet Lady, the Brilliant Lady, I'm sorry, Brilliant Lady, okay, and that actually took place. She sailed across the ocean, of course, too, and then arrived at Pier 90 in New York City, and welcomed more than 4,000 guests on board. And then, of course, this actual event marked the cruise line's official entry into the Northeast market, too. And highlights, of course, included Scarlet Night, live performances, the previews of new dining concepts and spaces. Of course, Sir Richard Branson, who owns Virgin Voyages, joined celebrities, athletes, influencers, media, and Virgin Voyages fans to celebrate the brand's recognition at the world's #1 cruise line for 3 consecutive years, too. And a guest on board from New Jersey said, "This ship feels like a boutique hotel at sea. The design is stunning. The food was incredible, including the new Spanish restaurant, and you can feel the energy everywhere you go, too." And also, the debut of their new Brilliant Lady, I love the name, Brilliant Lady, introduced new entertainment with productions, interactive performances, champagne bars, outdoor lounges, and theater spaces that really reflect on the line's adults-only atmosphere, too. And another person on board, she actually, her name is Amy, and she's features director at Better Homes and Gardens, said it was a fabulous event. It really struck me was the modern design throughout the ship, and from the chic bars with mid-century furniture to stylish outdoor decks by the pools, the spaces felt upscale with a Mad Men meets Miami vibe. How fun, too. But how fun that she actually debuted and is now sailing, which is great, too. So that's good to know, too. So, yes. Something else, too, is, I talked about this last week, too, but more about the Brilliant Lady. As mentioned, she did arrive September 3rd into New York for her debut cruise. Okay, and that the debut cruise actually took place on September 5th, okay, last week. And as mentioned, now Richard Branson, the owner and founder of Virgin Group, mentioned after an epic voyage, suddenly the New York City skyline came into view. He wrote in a digital post, and he said, "We climbed up top of the ship for a prime view, and we passed the Statue of Liberty and joined our brilliant crew and sailors to be serenaded with a unique New York medley. Frank Sinatra, Alicia Keys, Jay-Z, and Taylor Swift." Okay, and then once again, too, as she started sailing, of course, her official sailing started on September 5th, last Friday, and so now the Brilliant Lady is sailing from the Manhattan Cruise Terminal to Bermuda and Canada through October, and she's going to reposition to Miami. But how wonderful is that, too? And it's really great too, because once again too is it's how fun too, because once again they have different things they're doing on board the ship. This is a 4-ship and Virgin Voyages, and he mentioned that he said they learned the best from their first 3 and made it even better. Okay, and it's been built actually to traverse from Panama Canal and navigate the stunning landscapes of Alaska. Also, they've got the new restaurant. Okay, it's a new delicioso new restaurant called Rojo by Razzle Dazzle. It's run by award-winning chefs, and you can actually taste their passion for authentic, elevated Spanish food from first bite too. And he said, Richard Branson said, of course, in his post, his blog, he said, "Nothing makes me happier than being sat at a lively dinner table, sharing food and fun with the people I love." And he also mentioned that one of the things I'm most proud about as far as Virgin Voyages is that every detail is crafted from customer feedback. The company is living proof that if you listen to what customers want and use it, rewrite the playbook, everything will fall into place. I carry my notebook around the ship and pass on feedback to our crew. Also, today it was like an ice bath in the spa, needing to be a little bit icier. How fun. Yes, this is, it always helps to have the best people in the world working for you, which Virgin Voyages certainly do. From the service team to the happenings cast, the entertainment on board Brilliant Lady adds another layer of magic to the ship. We saw absolutely unmissable new shows and productions that match anything on Broadway, from the decadent supper clubs turned into comedic murder mysteries, to circus discos, and also the acrobatic renditions of Romeo and Juliet. And he said, "Our team really lives by the mantra to be the reason someone smiles today." I love that. Be the reason that someone smiles today. This is how Virgin Voyages actually winning award after award. They're actually including being crowned the #1 mega ship ocean cruise line in the 2025 Travel Plus Leisure World's Best Awards, and then for the 3rd year in a row. And how wonderful too. This is what's more, they received a score of 94.80, the highest score in that category for 30 years. And I continue, and he said, beyond beautiful restaurants, sparkly entertainment, rooftop running tracks, and mermaid-inspired spas. Love mermaid, right? What makes Virgin Voyages so special to the people, too. He says, as I make my way through the ship, playing chess, eating ice cream, okay, and they've got their ice cream parlor called Lick Me Till, yes, it's great, and drinking lots of tea with the crew on board. I was reminded how they're really beating heart of the ship, too. And also he said that New York has always been a special place, special city for Virgin, from driving tanks through the Times Square with Virgin Cola to the iconic bands playing at Virgin megastores too, and as Virgin Voyages entered New York with Virgin Atlantic planes soaring overhead and the Virgin hotels lighting up midtown, I couldn't help but wonder, is this a Virgin state of mind? And he said, today Virgin Voyages completes our fleet and celebrate a moment that will be a legacy for all beyond our ships too. And as we entered New York with our crew and sailors singing as one, it was truly, truly brilliant too. But how wonderful, and that's his blog too. You know, but how wonderful too, and but how fun too. So once again, so wonderful, and like I said, she's going to be sailing right now to Bermuda, and then in October, mid-October, she will actually be repositioning to Miami, offer, I think, Caribbean cruises for a while, but that's great too. So just wanted to share that with you too, because it's really fun too. So yes, but I love the name Brilliant Lady. They've got more ships coming out too later on, but once again, she's now sailing officially. Remember, that is the adults only cruise. You have to be 18 years or older to sail on their ships. And once again, having a chance to see their first ship, the Scar Lady, a couple years ago, when she debuted in Port Miami, it was wonderful to actually be on board the ship for about 7 hours. It was great. What's great too is, remember, they've got different diverse dining options, okay? They're included, okay? Other than cruise lines, which really started with having like main dining, big dining rooms with Virgin Voyages, their ships don't have main dining rooms. You've got small restaurants, you pick and choose, make reservations, they're included, which is great. Their energy was spectacular, and their pool area is just beautiful too. Once again, just really, really beautiful too, and just such a great way to really kind of experience cruising in a different way too, you know. And also as far as ice cream, Lick Me Till was fantastic. Okay, one time I actually saw a Richard Branson was actually featured in another video, whatever. He actually one time was on board the ship, actually served ice cream himself from Lick Me Till. How fun, but just great. So definitely keep Brilliant Lady on your mind too, because once again, she's sailing right now to Bermuda. Mid-October will reposition to Miami, and then offer different cruises in the Caribbean, and then she'll be offering different areas too. So that's kind of fun too. So keep in mind, because I think it's just a wonderful way to really experience cruising in a different way, which is great too. So keep it in mind. Richard Branson, Brilliant Lady. Okay. As mentioned too is I know we got another ship coming out later on in November. Celebrity Excel. I've talked about this before. This is actually Celebrity Cruises' newest ship, and it's their Edge class ship. It's called Celebrity Excel. Excel is actually spelled XCEL. Okay, and she's actually going to be debuting this November, I believe, and just she looks beautiful. And what's great too is having sailed on Celebrity Cruises since they first started. My God, years ago. Okay, but it's great too because what they're doing is it's a sister ship to the Celebrity Ascent. But once again, and this is their 4th Edge class ship. Okay, and what they're doing too is they're doing some things as far as the style on board the ship too. It's they had, it was called the Eden Restaurant, is now the Bazaar with LED screens and marketplace stalls fit for festivals too, which is great too. And the spa also includes, which I think is great, an outdoor lounge area too. And like I said, it's gonna be finished in the next couple months. And of course too is like I said, they're doing some great things too, and just doing some things to update some things too. Also, what they're doing too is what will become the Edge class's first water therapy space will become a waterfall. Okay, then that sounds great too. So, and then actually be water coming down from the ceiling too, and I think could be very, very calming, elevated experience too. That's in the spa too. And then overall, I know that the Celebrity Excel is going to have 7 reimagined spaces on board to provide new experiences. 6 have been announced, and I'll share more later when I find more announcements too. In addition to the Bazaar and the spa changes, it's going to include their new Mediterranean restaurant on top deck called Bora. It's an adults focused gaming area at the upper level of the club, which has increased shading and a valet station at the indoor pool, which is fun. And the store will actually have museum-style exhibits. Also, something they're doing too is, I know that they're doing some other changes too throughout the ship too. The Blue Dining venue course will be larger, okay, and it's beautiful. I've seen it before on the other ships too, but it's going to be larger. Also, the theater will have Pro Technics and also more advanced lasers to create 3D effects. And also, I know that one thing to do too is they've got their Cafe Baccio, which is great. Also, there's an outdoor screen area on deck 15, and I think that offers free movies too. Okay, also I know that the Martini Bar in the Plaza, Grand Plaza, is going to stay the same too. So once again, they're doing some updates. I'll share more with that ship's going to be coming out in November this year. Okay, Celebrity Excel. Okay, offering Caribbean sailings as well as Europe too. Okay, so that's like I said, new ships coming out still this year too. Okay, and then something else kind of fun too is Princess Cruises. They were around for a long time. They're one great cruise line to have sailed on Princess myself too. And what's fun too is Princess Cruises actually had a ship that was actually part of the whole Love Boat TV series too, which is great. And then they move forward, which is great too. So once again, Princess Cruises really kind of brought cruising to eyes of people thanks to the Love Boat TV series too, which is great too. And also later on is when Captain Stubing became one of the brand ambassadors too. I met him actually a couple of times. He's so great, amazing person. He's been going for a couple of years. Once again, just a great person too. What they did was Princess Cruises. They've actually been sailing in the Mexican Riviera since 1965. Yes, okay. But what they're doing too is with their Princess Patricia announced they've got 13 new shore excursions across Cabo San Lucas, La Paz, Manzanillo, Mazatlan, and Puerto Vallarta. And these new experiences are going to be available in January 2026, which is great. And also span food and beverage, nature and wildlife, adventure, culture, history, including exclusive Todos Santos wine experience in Cabo San Lucas. Okay, as they just announced this today, which is great too. How exciting too! And then they mentioned for their 2025-2026 season, they're offering 31 departures from Los Angeles and San Francisco aboard their Emerald Princess, the Royal Princess, and the Ruby Princess, with itineraries ranging from 7 to 14 days too, which is great too. And as mentioning right now, they just announced this too. What they're doing right now too is, as far as their select Mexican Riviera shore excursions right now, for bookings made September 10th through the 16th. Oh my gosh, it's coming up pretty quickly too. For voyages through April 2026, they're offering some discounts too, so keep in mind too. So once again, these are new shore excursions offering on their Mexican cruise bookings too. For instance, they've got in Cabo San Lucas, they've got wine, wildlife, and culture, which is great. They've got their, it's pronounced Todos Santos wine experience. It's a Princess exclusive too, and it's a guided vineyard tour of I think it's Viñedo Las Tinajas with wine tastings and bruschetta. Stops at Todos Santos, including the Mission of Our Lady of Pilar and Hotel California. Also, another one taking place in Cabo San Lucas is their Transparent Boat Adventure. This is Land's End and Las Arcos. It's a glass bottom boat tour to El Arco, Sea Lion Colony, and also surrounding landmarks with views of the marine life, which is great too, and onboard refreshments. Also, they got their Besta Baja. This is a cultural historical tour that includes Mission Santa Rosa de Lamas, Velvet, Pearl Farm and Gallery, tequila tasting at Hotel California, and also a lunch at Todos Santos. In La Paz, they've got relaxation and ocean adventures. They've got two listed. These include their Daydream in Baja Beach Escape. Okay, and with this one, it relaxes at El, pronounce it correctly, it's El Quemacito Beach with private access, sunbathing, swimming, and also included natural beers. Also, their Baja Ocean Wonders and scalloping escape experience includes sustainable scallop harvesting, snorkel, relax, and enjoy a short city tour of La Paz too. And as far as Manzanillo, they've got culture nature tours too. One is called Tropical Fruit Plantation in Barra de Navidad, and that visits banana plantations. How fun! Visiting a banana plantation? Oh my gosh, it would sound so fun, wouldn't it? Also explore the Barra de Navidad, and also join a boat ride to resort at Isla Navidad with snacks and drinks. Also, another they got is this turtle sanctuary. And then when it comes to another one, it's Mazatlan Beaches. Okay, history and cuisine. This includes the Heritage Taco Fiesta. Oh, this sounds exciting too. Who doesn't like tacos, right? But this one actually learn tortilla and tamale history in a private hacienda, sample tacos, enjoy fantastic music, and a guided tour through their, I think it's pronounced Machado Square. Another one is actually their Shakina Beach Club with lunch. You can spend a day at an oceanfront retreat with swimming, volleyball, cannabis, adults only pool and lunch with drinks. How fun. And more. Another one is actually the old Mazatlan trolley tour. I love tours too myself, but this one actually is an open air trolley tour of old town landmarks, cathedral, Basilica, and also they've got their Divers Point Shrimp Ladies Market and panoramic views from the Watchman's Hill. Another one is their horseback riding adventure at Cerritos Beach. This is a 90-minute guided horseback ride along scenic trails to Cerrito Beach. And then also they mentioned too, another one is actually Puerto Vallarta, local life and hands-on experiences, okay? And with, they've got two right there. They've got the Real Mexico and Chocolate Experience. Oh my gosh, who doesn't love chocolate, right? Chocolate, yes. They've got, I could actually visit, let's see, I think it's Palito Town. It's a family-run cacao and coffee plantation. Sample chocolates and coffee. Enjoy tequila tasting and explore crafts too. Also, we got Puerto Vallarta. Another one is actually their Marina Vallarta and Pinata art experience. It's hands-on Pinata workshop with mimosas and lemonade plus tacos before returning. So once again, you can look these up when you go to Princess Cruises, and then just look up Mexico too, because they just announced that they're going to be offering new shore excursions. 13 new shore excursions, sailing on the Mexican River cruises too, okay? And once again, they're great. And so keep in mind, these are going to be offered on their ships that depart from Los Angeles or San Francisco, aboard their Emerald Princess, the Royal Princess, also the Ruby Princess, and these itineraries are 7 to 14 days. So definitely keep in mind too, because this is another way to really, really enjoy, I think, Princess Cruises, near shore excursions, and just that environment to it's great too. So keep in mind, I think that's wonderful too. And then something else too that came up too, as mentioned, we've got new ships coming out. With Disney, they actually have some new ships coming out. I've shared that before in a previous episode, Good Ship Happens. But also I know that Disney had new ship coming out, and a couple of new ships coming out there too. But once again, I know that, like I said, for Disney, let's see here real quick here too. Look here too. I know they've got Disney actually just announced they're delaying their December maiden voyage of their first global class mega ship, Disney Adventure. They just announced this today. Okay, I don't know what happened, but what happened was they had unexpected delays, of course. This is with Disney Cruise Line, and as mentioned, they just decided they had unexpected delay that came up too. So once again, too, just like I said, with their Disney Cruise Lines, they actually had the Disney Adventure supposed to be coming out end of this year. It got delayed. I don't know what happened. It got delayed, but like I said, they just pronounced an announcement today too about this. The ship building process at the actually delayed Disney Cruise Lines from launching the Christmas launch of their Disney Adventure. Okay, one of two ships that's on the drawing board too. So the Disney Adventure is going to now set sail from Singapore on its maiden voyages on March 10th of 2026 instead of this December 15th, okay? And so guests are actually on the maiden voyage, can sail on the new maiden voyage. That's going to, with a discount, of course, and also rebook for future credit too, 50% off. And then once again, guests on canceled voyages will automatically receive a full refund and be offered a 50% off a future Disney Cruise Line sailing. and they have to book this by March 31st, 2026 for sailings on or before March 31st of 2027. And as mentioned, the ship got delayed, but once again, Disney will provide more details later on. But once again, as far as the Disney Adventure, this is it's going to be celebrating some things, some fun things on deck. Of course, they've got a new adventure zone that celebrates the Marvel Universe, including their longest roller coaster at sea, the Iron Cycle test run, the Toy Story Place. Will be a new water play area for families with young children, while their San Francisco treat, which has been inspired by Big Hero 6, will actually feature Big Hero Arcade. They got new stage shows, dining venues, and updated accommodations available too. So once again, got played. They didn't spring light, but they'll be coming out, of course, and they're giving future cruise credits too, discounts too. So once again, for people who have to actually got canceled, they're going to take care of people, which is great too. So once again, it looks really good too, because once again, with Disney, remember they really are committed to really creating those wonderful experiences for their guests with their special brand of cruising too. And once again, the Disney storytelling really brings it to new shores too. Okay, that's great too. So although the Disney Adventure got postponed till March next year, they're taking care of their guests, which is wonderful, which they normally do anyway, but that's great too. So keep in mind too, in case we couldn't go in December, keep it in mind, because once again, now she'll start sailing in March this next year too. So yeah, once again too is, like I said, that's kind of recap of ships coming out, because once again, Star Seas, which just came out in August this year, also has their chief dog officer on board, Sailor. She's a golden retriever, and she's been trained, of course, to bring happiness and joy and fun to people too on board their ships too. And what's great too, because once again, we've got great things going down too with the cruise industry. New ships always excite me, of course, as you can tell. And something else too is with river cruising too. Right now this week and is when the Sea Trade Cruise conference taking place actually in Europe. It's been fun. I know people that are there, that I know they're posting wonderful things too. Once again too is there are a lot of great things coming up in the river cruise industry too, and also with 2026 it's already outpacing things too. We've got, of course, Viking. We've got new ships coming out too, but Viking is off remarkable start too. They've got new ships coming out also. Another one is actually Riviera, and they're focusing on niche markets too, which is great too. And Amadeus, the road cruise line, they're going like crazy. Another one is on Waterways, and that's great too, because once again, earlier this year they launched their first two ships, I think, sailing on the Magdalena River in South America. They're going very, very well, which is great too. Once again, though, also with river cruising, it's growing like crazy in a very good way too. So once again, there's no slowing down. So one thing to think about too is if you've ever thought about maybe going to Europe, a great way to experience Europe actually to be taking a river cruise, because once again, the ship is your floating hotel. Okay, and it's great because once again, the ship, what they do is normally they provide pre-cruise hotel stay. It's better to fly the day before. Also, you can do a post-cruise stay too. Once again, too, is river cruising is a great way to really see the rivers in Europe. Also, they offer sailings to different parts of the world, including what I just started doing earlier this year is on the Magdalena River in South America. The only cruise line that does it. Their ships are small. And also, as far as just statistics too, is I know they mention it's just great how things are going on too with the just great different itineraries too. Because once again, as far as people love to travel in Europe, river cruising too, but also they have a desire to visit other rivers outside of Europe too, including the Nile in Egypt, also Mekong in Vietnam, of course, most recently with with Waterways, they're offering the Magdalena River in Colombia. Okay, it's great, and that's one area that Waterways has really found success too, which is great too. So once again, if you've never thought of taking a river cruise, keep in mind too, and something that's fun too is because we've got another cruise line going to be starting, Celebrity River Cruises. Okay, they just announced this earlier this year, and Celebrity River Cruise is going to start in maybe 2 years, but it sounds really fantastic because with Celebrity Cruises owned by Royal Caribbean Group, and they have built their mainstay, of course, sailing the oceans. Once again, too, they saw just kind of a gap. So once again, with Celebrity Cruises, they're going to be offering their Celebrity River Cruises too, coming out I think 2027. But I'll share more over that too, because once again, with cruising, people ask what's the best cruise, but in points it goes back to, okay, what do you want to see? You've got options as far as ships, big ships, mega ships, smaller ships, intimacy, ones that are more intimate, luxury. Another good example, of course, Explorer Journeys. That's wonderful. And once again, it's just bringing the ocean life to sea too. Very luxury. Also, you've got ones that, like I said, with Disney, they do great things as far as entertainment. If you're a Disney person too, which is great. Once again, so many options out there too. Once again, when cruising first started over 50 some years ago, kind of fun. So once again, they came up just doing Caribbean cruises. They expanded like crazy. They've grown, offering options. Of course, another great example, of course, is with, of course, Star of the Seas, because she just debuted in August this year, and she sails from Port Canaveral, which is close to Orlando. So once again, you've got so many options. Galveston, Texas is another place that cruise lines are now sailing ships from too. Also, of course, you've got Miami, Port Miami. You've got Port Everglades, which is great too. And of course, a good example too is Virgin Voyages. When they just started sailing, they just actually debuted their new ship sailing from New York City, Manhattan, for cruises to Bermuda, which is great. But so many options out there too. And once again, too, you've got river cruises in Europe. Also, keep in mind too, you've got American Cruise Lines. Okay, they offer river cruising down the U.S. rivers too. Another good example too is with the Victory Cruise Lines. They just started sailing their 5 Great Lake cruises in April this year. It was actually the christening first sailing at their new ship, their ship called Victory One. I was on board. It was great. They actually named the ship that second day. What they do is, with Victory Cruise Lines, they actually include a free night pre-cruise hotel. And in my case, I flew from Chicago to Toronto, and then the ship actually, we had a hotel in Toronto first night, then got aboard the ship next morning. They did the naming christening ceremony in the afternoon, and then of course we sailed the 5 Great Lakes. It was great to see the 5 Great Lakes too, because I've not done that before, so it was good to experience the lakes too. And of course we went to Niagara Falls. Okay, but just beautiful places. That place was the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Different cities, it was great too. And then also Mackinac Island, which is great, because with Mackinac Island, they don't allow any vehicles here. Okay, right. No cars, no trucks, no vehicles. And what was great too is with the Victory Cruise Lines, their ships are small. They actually can dock right there, and they offer a free tour for every place you go to, which is great. I did a horse-drawn carriage. It was really fantastic to experience it too myself. Also, what they did too is other tours you do too, and then also what they did was then they sailed and actually docked at Navy Pier, Chicago, and then the ship once again did a reverse. So with Victory Cruise Lines right now, they're going to be finishing up their 5 Great Lakes season later, I think in October, November. Then they're going to reposition the ship somewhere else. We'll figure out where later on too. But also, it's a great way to really experience the Great Lakes and see beautiful cities in the U.S. too. So they got the Victory 1 and Victory 2. That's their cruise line ships. Very small. The cuisine was phenomenal. And just different options, which is great. You also had a beautiful bar to go to too, and then at night they had entertainment, which was really fun too. Once again, the visual was so pretty too, so keep in mind too. But just a great way to really kind of experience the 5 Great Lakes too. And once again, I know right now Victory Cruise Lines is working on where they're going to reposition their 2 ships, because They won't be doing the Great Lakes during the wintertime, of course, due to the weather, but once again, they will be working on that soon and then announcing more too, because once again, I know that with American Cruise Lines, what they do is they do the rivers in the U.S., but also what they do too is they offering some cruises that was sailing from South Florida, which is great too. So it's definitely a good way to kind of experience different things too. Plus, these ships are smaller, more intimate, which is great too. So definitely keep that in mind, because I think it's really, really fun to think about different options too. And it was great to kind of really experience 5 Great Lakes cruises after previously writing about it. So it's really kind of fun too, because once again, too, is in my case, living outside Chicago, getting from Navy Pier back home was very, very easy too. And once again, flying to Toronto from Chicago was not that long of a flight too. It was really, really great experience to experience myself too. And the lakes are really pretty too. So, but actually going to Mac Island was really fun too, because I'd heard about it, but I thought this is really kind of cool. So it was great because, like I said, they have the horse-drawn carriages, people ride bikes, and it's just really, really great as far as what they do, there too. But just fun things to think about too, because it's just so many options out there too. Like I said, with great ships coming out too in the future, it's really fun too. This always excites me too, and I will share more about that too in a future episode. But I think it's kind of fun that Virgin Voyages launched their 4th ship. They have other ships coming out too. Another cruise line, which is Luxury, is actually Explorer Journeys, and they have 2 ships sailing, have their new ship coming out next year, Explorer 3. But once again, they have really focused on bringing the ocean life to sea, very luxury, smaller ships, different entertainment, and they're doing some really great things too. Something else is actually, I think how fun too is also with Explorer Journeys, they're owned by the MSC Group. MSC Group also operates their MSC Cruises. I was in the christening of the MSC World America in April. It was wonderful, just a great experience. But what they did too is actually they opened their Marine Conservation Center too. They're building coral reef trees right there on their island, which is great too. So really focusing on sustainability too. But as far as like I said, different fun things too is, think about, I've been writing about Star of the Seas, planning to get my article published out soon, but also it's kind of fun because once again, to actually have a chief dock officer on board a ship, how fun. And then how they came up with the idea is really fun too. Once again, they just have their first chief dock officer on their new ship, Icon Seas, came out last year. Her name is Rover, Golden Retriever. And when they decided to have another chief dog officer on their new ship, Star of the Seas just came out in August. Her name was Sailor. She's really cute. They did great videos of her, which I'm going to share, I think, more too, but just really fun too. But how fun, because once again, what's fun too is I think with having a chief dog officer, remember that they're not there to actually drive the ship with 4 paws, okay? They're there to enjoy smiles and happiness for their people on board their ship, also their crew members, because they really, really, really enjoy talking to a dog. I mean, I talk to dogs. I talk to my puppy niece all the time, but how fun, just really fun too, and just a way to really, really kind of bring in that engagement in different ways too. How fun, isn't it? But I just love sharing more.
As we're designing the best family vacation, there was one piece that was missing, which is, of course, the family dogs. And when guests go on vacation, one of the key things that they miss are their pets back home. And when our crew are sailing on board for their contracts, one of the things they miss are their pets back at home. And so we really wanted to make sure we brought a fluffy addition to our crew family. We went and got Rover, and here we are now for Star. We're picking up Sailor, and Sailor will be living on Star of the Seas.
Well, the Chief Dog Officer was an idea that we created actually when we were developing and concepting the ultimate family townhouse. We were all sitting around saying, when you think about the ultimate family townhouse, what does that mean? And all these ideas came around, and somebody threw out the idea of having a family dog. And we said, well, it feels a little selfish to have a family dog for just one family. Why don't we have a family dog for the family on board the ship? And so that's how the position evolved, and we thought, well, obviously it's a very important position, and of course all important positions on ships are called chief. So we thought Chief Dog Officer is perfect.
When we first came up with the idea for Project Rover or Project Sailor, we realized we don't really know a lot about what it means to take care of a dog on a cruise ship. And so we partnered with some of the most well-respected animal well-being certifiers globally to really help us create this program from the ground up and make sure that when Rover and Sailor are on board, they're having the best day every day.
So there's a very well-written, crafted position description that, of course, the Chief Dog Officer can't read. The key mission is to have fun, and that's exactly what Rover and Sailor do. You know, they just have fun.
So Sailor is very small. She's about 16 weeks. And so when Sailor gets on board, she's going to, take everyone's breath away. Sailor's life on Star will be full of adventure. She and her Chief Dog Officer role really means that she gets to go and explore the ship, go and explore our private destinations with our crew members, really just being that warm, welcoming family for her.
Oh, I just totally fell in love with Sailor. I fell in love with Rover as well, but I also fell in love with Sailor. She's so beautiful and loving and funny, and so I just completely fell in love. When we were thinking about the idea, one of the questions was, well, what will the crew think? Will the crew like the idea or not? And so one of the team members had a golden retriever and volunteered to bring the golden retriever down to one of our ships on a turnaround day, and we fitted the dog with a GoPro camera. It was very touching because after when we watched the video, so many crew stopped and hugged the dog and talked to the dog. When we saw that, we thought, wow, this is amazing. People miss their own family dogs.
And as we've done with Rover, as we're doing with Sailor, we really want to make sure we're focused on what's best for these animals. And really right now our focus is on Sailor and making sure that she is having the best life at sea when she gets on Star of the Seas in August.